and welcome back to the Paddocks, y'all. You already know the drill. Race weekends mean we are back and we are ready to yap. This time we are headed straight to Sao Paulo for the Brazilian or Sao Paulo Grand Prix. So turn on the samba music, maybe even a little bossa nova or Brazilian funk in the background if you're feeling spicy, because we have plenty to talk about. On today's episode, you're hanging out with me, Amy, Chelsea, and Meg as we break down all the chaos from Interlagos. We had so much going on this weekend, people, from potentially wild weather to on-track drama and everything in between. Make sure you grab a drink, maybe a snack if you're feeling peckish, and get comfy because we have a lot to get into. The paddock was absolutely buzzing this weekend. Now, if you have been following us for a while, you know that we always kick off our race recaps with our turn-by-turn segment. I'm normally the one who is covering it because I just am. It's how things seem to be. I am going to cover all of the track changes we have. I am back with a bit of a laundry list this weekend. They removed the hatched zone between the pit exit road and on the right-hand side and the track edge. There was resurfacing from turn 12 to turn 1, resurfacing from turn 3 to turn 4. They realigned the white line at the exit of turn 4, added grooving at turn 2, grooving from the pit exit road until turn 3, grooving between the straight after turn 5, grooving in the straight between turn 11 and turn 12, and grooving from the start line until the grid position 21. For this weekend, Pirelli has also chosen to bring the C4, the C3, and the C2 compounds for dry weather tires, which is one step softer than what was used in 2024.
Thank you. We love an update. We need these updates. Now, I do have to say I would love to start off the specific Brazil race recap with a moment to kind of, let the Brazilian fans celebrate. This is something they have been waiting for. Brazil finally had one of their own back on the grid after 8 years, if what I read online was right. So all eyes were on our little rookie Gabriel, and I'm so happy he got to take the track this year. Good for Brazilians out there. Enjoy it.
I was so excited to hear how loud the crowd was going to be for him this weekend, because you hear fans drivers home races every season and their home fans are just so loud. And we normally get the fans going crazy at the Brazilian Grand Prix, but I was really excited to see how much louder they could be when they had one of their own on the grid. We do, per usual, have specialty lids to cover. You guys know we all are suckers for a specialty helmet. We've got to start off with Max. I love that I can count on Max Verstappen to bring me a little bit of glitter. It just brings me so much joy. I know that he's always going to give a little bit of glitter and some sparkle.
You know what I just literally thought of? I bet having a daughter now, we're just going to see more glitter and more sparkle in the future. But I did love Max's. For some reason, I completely forgot that Sao Paulo had like such a had such a special spot for him. Excuse me, my English not so very good. But just like seeing the obvious Brazilian colors, beautiful. I love how excited he was to bring it onto the track because of his wife's family being from there. Like him having this really strong connection with it now again, especially with the daughter. And I love the special touch of gold. I love it. I feel like it was him manifesting gold for the championship. Like he's really still trying to get that. But he's just sitting pretty. Well, I don't know if he's still in third, but he was when I wrote this. Okay, yeah, he's still sitting pretty in third then.
I do love that Max always kind of likes to highlight Brazil. I think he kind of treats it almost like it's a second home Grand Prix for him. His partner Kelly is from Brazil. Her family is very well known in Brazil. If you know the PK name, you know them with Brazilian racing. They're technically not married yet, or that's publicly known. But they do have a adorable little girl together, Lily. But publicly, I don't think they're married. But they've been together for 5 years. That I do know for a fact.
Yeah, definitely not publicly. And I do feel like at this point, if they were married, someone in the fan base would have slipped and found it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like another person who always brings us a really good helmet design for Brazil is Esteban Ocon. I don't know what it is with Esty Bestie, but he always kills it with his helmet designs in general, but especially with his Brazil Grand Prix helmets. He had this like north pointing symbol that went to his parents' initials on the top of his helmet. That hit me all up in my feels. It was just such a sweet little touch. He's just very thoughtful with his designs. I loved the way he used color. He had a little tribute to Senna and his family. It was everything I wanted from him and more. It was perfect.
No, it was really nice. I also loved the touch of using oconcinho, which, in case you didn't know, and I did Google this, apparently zinho at the end of the word is like saying it's small and cute, kind of like if you're, like if you speak Spanish, you'll say like poquito or whatever. So I just thought that was so nice because basically he ended up calling himself Cute Little Ocon, and I'm dead. That's hilarious. I bet the Brazilians fans thought that was also really funny.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a fan actually designed his helmet for this weekend. So it kind of makes all the details even more special. I forget what her name is, but I know she's from Brazil. But yeah, he ran a contest, I'm pretty sure, for
that makes sense.
For the design of the helmet. So it's actually really thoughtful and sweet that she put all of that into account for him and put that all on his helmet.
Yeah, because it's like she's a real fan.
Yeah, I love when drivers like do contests to have fans design their helmets. Sometimes you've seen, like, I know Lando's done it where he's had multiple fans like work on sections of a helmet. I just think it's such a fun idea. I think drivers should do it more often. I know quite a few of them do, but I would just love to see, like, whether it's the last race of the season or what, I would love to see like every driver on the grid have a fan design helmet for like either the first race of a season or the last race of a season. I feel like those are like the best moments to do something like that grid wide. I don't know. I think it's really fun and it's just really sweet. I'm a super sentimental person, so like stuff like that is just like adorable to me. Now, if you don't know, Lewis Hamilton is technically an honorary Brazilian citizen. This man is just beloved everywhere he goes. I swear, I love it so much. But I was absolutely stalking this man's Instagram to find his helmet. And it took forever for it to friggin' go up. I don't even think it was on his page. I think I found it on the Ferrari page of all places. But it was kind of like the perfect mix of the yellow helmet that he has been having this season with splashes of green to honor Brazil and honor just the flag and everything like that. It was so subtle, but like so perfectly done and very like Lewis in his Ferrari era style helmet.
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful. I mean, to me, Lewis is someone that's actually really. I love all of the helmets that he does. I've never seen one that I don't like, which cannot be said the same for some other drivers. But I also thought it was like a beautiful tribute to Senna. At least I think that's what I read online. And I love how Lewis always finds a connection to Senna. Like when he does these Brazil GP weekends, you see it repeatedly throughout the years. There's even one year where I think he drove with Senna's helmet that the family had given him. So it's just, I don't know, I like the consistency of it. He's not someone that just does it for the popularity or because it's, he knows that Senna's gonna get attention, blah blah. He does it because he has like this really strong connection to him.
Of course, we have to round out the specialty helmet talks with Brazil's own Gabriel Bortoleto. I actually only found video content of it on the Stake F1 account, but I'm absolutely obsessed. 10 out of 10. I have not a single note to give. The photo of him with his family on the back of the helmet literally had me close to tears. It was perfect. It was everything that I expected from him for a home race helmet. It was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
No, I think Gabriel's helmet I only saw a glimpse of on TikTok, so I didn't really get to see it. But I'm happy he got to do it. I feel like it's so disappointing when these people have a home race and they do nothing. I'm like, what are you doing? But anyways, in the process of looking for these, I did see that the official like Formula One blog posted a story about the special helmets and like how they came to be, the regularity over the years. So, I mean, if you're like bored and you want to read a blog, it was really interesting. Not that they pay us to tell you that, but it was really good.
They should pay us to tell people that, though.
They should, but if you're listening,
shoot us an email, a DM, pick your poison.
I love
people.
your blog.
We love you. Now, I feel like I have just become the girl who finds all of the F1 breaking newsy things because I have all the notifications turned on. And I know Chelsea also saw this because Williams has announced that they are changing their logo starting in January of next year, aka the start of next season. I'm still not sure, as of recording this, how I feel. I do like that it's sort of reverting back to a similar style to the original Williams W, but in a lot of ways, I also wanted something that was a little bit fresher. Not that I don't love the original Williams W, but I never liked the current Williams logo that we've had. I wanted something a little fresher, a little bit more modern, and I feel like this isn't quite doing it for me so far from what I've seen. I will, for sure, be missing the Williams Racing title since they will officially be Atlassian Williams F1 team. And I hate the title sponsors. You've heard us say this before. I don't like it. It drives me crazy. I will say they also, for this race weekend, brought us a special golf livery and race suit. I loved it. I think it was perfect. The light blue with the orange. It's really nice. I do think I like the race suit better than the car design, though. But that's just my personal preference.
I honestly love when they bring in the golf in general, just because I'm really a big fan of the blue and orange combo. But you're right about the logo. It is the original W to a T. Actually, I mean, at least to me. And like, I see the message they're trying to send, focusing on the future and what they can be with a touch of the past. Beautiful. But you're right. I feel like it does miss the mark a little bit. I actually think the current one was more modern, or I would call it modern than whatever it is they're doing now. I feel like this one is almost more like a retro design. Maybe again because it's just their old one, so it just in my head feels retro. But I did love the video that they used to announce it. I love that they had Carlos in the video project because, I mean, I know he made podium. Obviously, I missed that Alex is nowhere to be found in the video, but I understand it was like a podium video they wanted, so whatever. But I will say, like, at the base of it, this is where I agree with Amy so wholeheartedly. I wish companies would just stop investing into teams with the idea that they're going to contract them to change their name to include their brand. It's like they don't realize that in the process of doing this, yeah, cool, you're getting exposure. Also, you're ruining the image of what you're trying to make money off of. People want to buy Williams. They want to buy, like, support the history of the Williams team and blah, blah, blah. Not like some random brand, like, especially a team so historical to this, so historical to the sport. Like, I get that it's money. Williams especially, we're all very much aware that they need the money. But like the same could be said about HP and Ferrari. Like, why is HP and Ferrari? I have so many thoughts on this. I hate it. But like in my head, if you're going to make money off these teams, like no one's going to buy those jerseys as quick as they would buy it if it just said Williams.
Like I said, guys, I am so not a fan of the title sponsor. It's just like, from a merch standpoint, it's ugly as heck. Give us regular Williams, Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull merch. Like, I just want the team name. Like, just give me McLaren F1, Williams F1 race, or Williams Racing. Like, even if you wanted to change Williams from Williams Racing to Williams F1, I would accept that. I would deal with it. Not my fave, but like, it's fine. I hate it. We all have thoughts on this. It could be an episode in itself, if we're honest.
It just pisses me off. Like, you're taking away from, like you guys have said, like the history of each team. Like, is the only team next year that's going to be without a title sponsor Cadillac? Like, does Audi have a title sponsor? Like, the two new teams?
Audi is, I think, technically the title sponsor.
Yeah. Okay.
It's Audi Cadillac.
For Cadillac?
Is it?
Yeah, it's not like, isn't it? It's
no.
Well, it was getting one new team.
No,
Audi's going to be
its own team.
Sauber. Audi
that's what it is. Audi Sauber. Yeah.
I think so.
And then Cadillac is going to be its own team.
Yeah. I mean, I know, like, is it Andretti Cadillac? But I know I'm pretty sure they're just
Yes,
Cadillac
it is Andretti
F1.
Cadillac because the other Andretti just retired
F1.
and they think it's, like, a whole reason for that.
I don't know.
Off base.
Regardless, it's still, I don't know. Like we've said, I understand why they're doing it, but at the same time, it's ruining everything. Like, why do they always have to ruin good things? Like, McLaren, Williams, Ferrari, like those classic teams that have been here forever. Like, now it's MasterCard McLaren F1 team. Like, huh?
I hate it.
Huh?
I'm already envisioning that on merch and I want to cry. Well,
they're Oracle Red Bull Racing.
They became Oracle Red Bull Racing. And honestly, I don't even mind that one. Like, the Oracle Red Bull is not my fave, but I'm just like, they don't make, like, the merch doesn't look that bad. I have a singular piece of Red Bull, of official Red Bull merch, and it's a hat that says Oracle Red Bull Racing on it. Merch-wise, it doesn't look bad, but I'm already envisioning the MasterCard McLaren F1 team merch, and I'm just like, that's so much text. Like, I'm like, it's gonna look so weird on a t-shirt. I'm already envisioning it on a t-shirt or a hat, and I'm not ready.
Like, what are they gonna do? Like, with this, are they just gonna put, like, a MasterCard logo, like, right here? like, what are they gonna do?
I hope not.
They're just gonna have MasterCard, like, on the brim.
I mean, hey, they have right the here. MasterCard logo all over the front wing of the car, and at least it works. Like, the way they've done it, I don't hate it.
Well, it also helps that it's, like, orange and red. The Master and yellow, that helps because it blends.
I mean, I guess I do love the chrome rims.
Yeah,
the Google Chrome rims.
Yeah, I can't really be mad at those.
Yeah, but like Google Chrome isn't like a title sponsor.
Like, stop it. Just like JSO having a cute thing on Williams. I don't care how cute it is. Stop it.
I wish the teams would do like do a throwback merch line where it just says like your original team name on it. Like, give me old school Williams merch. I want some vintage feeling, like Ferrari vibes, old school McLaren. Give me some like 90s throwback Red Bull gear. Like, I would be all over that for like literally every team. Even Audi, if they did a vintage, like, inspired look, because they don't obviously have anything vintage to pull from.
That's very valid.
Same thing for Caddy. Like, I'd be all over it, because the vintage vibe is so coming back. So, like, give us your original name or a simplified name, but make it like a retro merch line. If you want a consult, again, shoot us an email or a DM.
Instead they're doing Peanuts and Disney, which is cute. But I'd
not
rather
my
see
favorite.
the retro stuff.
I love Peanuts. I feel like a mom, sorry.
Well, we could obviously talk about title sponsors and merch galore. If you want us to do an episode on that, please let us know. We would all happily do that. I do have to give a mention for the fact that we have our yearly sighting of everyone's favorite Sebastian Vettel. He is back in Interlagos, and I love it. It's my favorite time of year. If you don't follow Seb, you may have missed his post on Instagram about his forest initiative. Technically, he is calling it forest, where the O is a 1 in a circle, so it's the F1 forest. Draw it together. It's meant to encourage people to draw a tree, be it drivers, fans, kids, whatever, whoever. It is inspired by his last trip to Brazil last year, where he went to the Amazon and just kind of saw what was going on. I haven't seen anything official on if he is raising money or anything like that. Knowing Seb, my guess is he's got something awesome planned. You can find a little carousel of the photos that some of the drivers did on the ESPN F1 account. I bet there's also something on the main F1 account, but they're really fun. Lewis Hamilton did a really interesting, like, mixed media take on a tree where I think he cut things out of a magazine, whereas everybody else was using colored pencils. It's just really fun and cute. Everybody did one and signed it. It was adorable. I love it. I love when Seb makes an appearance at Brazil. He just loves Brazil, and it's fine. It's fun. It's adorable. We got a silly season update on Friday. Alpine has finally announced that Franco Colapinto has signed a contract for the 2026 season. The decision was definitely made easier by a bunch of checks written by Franco's Argentinian backers. I said what I said.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this decision kind of surprised me a little bit, to be honest. I'm surprised, like, obviously glad they gave him a chance and all, but, like, why didn't they give Jack a chance, you know? Like, that's... because he hasn't really been doing that much better than Jack, so...
Nope.
Okay, I will say, I also respect they're giving the rookie a real chance. I think that's how it should be. They shouldn't base your potential off a few races or one season. I think the reason they're doing this is because they got so much backlash over Doohan. Like, we saw it everywhere, social media, F1 news, commentators, everyone was saying they should have given him a break. And I think with Colapinto, they're kind of doing a 180 on that. Maybe they'll change their mind after next season. God knows if there's a loophole in whatever it is he got. Obviously, we never know with their contracts, really, the details of anything. But I do agree, the sponsor money timing, a little funny. I'm not going to get into it. I have too many thoughts on it, but we've talked about it in the past, especially with Checo. Sponsorship money is a good way to stay connected to your seat. If you got the money, you have a way higher chance than the guy next to you, even if they're doing better sometimes.
Sad, but very, very true. We see it time and time again in F1. Now, before we move on to more of the meat and potatoes of the race weekend, we do have one more little tidbit of news that we have to talk about. Now, in case you missed it, we had what I personally would deem a wild-ass statement to make as a CEO of a team. Pardon my French. I'm sorry. I'm a grown adult. I'm allowed to swear at people. Zak Brown said this with his full chest, that he would rather Max win than back one of the McLaren drivers. This is a direct quote. I'd rather go. We did the best we could with our drivers tied in points and the other beat us by one. Which, ironically, kind of refers to the 2007 situation that McLaren dealt with, where they refused to back Lewis Hamilton over Fernando Alonso or vice versa, and that led to Kimi Räikkönen winning the Drivers' Championship that year.
I definitely think they are going to recreate the past if they keep messing around. I get where they're coming from in the sense of, like, they don't want to put these drivers against one another because they think it's going to be way worse, and maybe instead you'll get, like, a situation where the two drivers never talk to one another again, like what happened to Lewis and his other partner. So, like, I can see why they don't want to do that, because then the long run, come next season, the season after that, there's just going to be all this animosity from what happened in the season of 2025. And also, I think ZB has a little bit of a soft spot for Max. But beyond that, I wish so much that, like, there was a bigger gap just so that this wouldn't even be a situation. But, like, they really are competing at almost the same level this season.
Yeah, and I think that's hard. That's what makes the decision hard. And also, they don't want to lose either driver because they know what they've got. And I think if they did decide, because, I don't know, I watched a little bit. They played a clip of the interview before the race. And, like, it's hard because I understand where they're coming from. I just don't know if I would have said that publicly, because then then it just gives people the ammunition, and like keep that thought to yourselves. Like when they were
Inside
like,
thought.
we don't. I forget. I think Zak is the one that said it. Like, we don't let things come into the MTC. I wouldn't have let that statement come out of the MTC.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
like,
I agree.
it just makes you realize, like, in actuality, in reality, these teams don't really give a shit about the drivers' championship, in my opinion. They just care about the constructors because that's what brings them the money. Like, obviously they care about the drivers' championship. Like, they want one of their drivers to win it. But in the weight of the situation, I think McLaren cares more about the Constructors' Championship, and I don't know. Like I said, sticky situation, especially when you have literally two of the two best drivers on the grid in your team, and it's hard to tell either one of them, sorry, you gotta back off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wouldn't have said the statement, period. Like,
I agree. It should have been like a inside
it was an
network
internal
thought. I don't know.
That did not need to be out in the media.
Especially calling out Max.
Bet you his PR handler or whoever, not handler, but like whoever in the PR team is assigned to work with Zak probably was like, God dang it, Zak, stop it. Like, you didn't need to say that out loud.
I don't know if y'all have picked up on it, but he hasn't been at races lately. So I wonder if it's like they're like, stop it.
I mean, it's possible.
But I don't know. Maybe he's just also busy. But I don't know. It ultimately comes down to CEO things. I don't know.
There's also an IndyCar team.
Yeah. And they're trying to do the WEC. But I don't know. Who knows? Ultimately, that should have been an inside thought, because now the media and the whole world is going to be like, if say worst comes, like, if Max does win this thing, they're gonna look like a bunch of dumb idiots. I'm sorry, but
to quote Gunther, you're gonna look
especially
like a bunch
because they already
wankers.
won the championship, like constructor.
Yeah.
And listen, I fully agree with letting them fight. Like, I think that's the right thing to do, but it comes to a point when it's like, I don't know. If you're gonna let them.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it.
We do have to move in to the race weekend. Obviously, it was a sprint weekend, so we only had one practice session. There wasn't anything super wild. I do have a few little moments to highlight. We had Yuki Tsunoda with a bit of a moment early in the session. He ended up hitting the barriers and spinning off of the track. I hate seeing that for Yuki. We all love Yuki here. We want Yuki to do well. I'm hoping that Red Bull can figure out what the heck was going on with their car. We also saw a very late spin from Lewis Hamilton, but we didn't have a single interruption for the free practice session, which is always nice to see. Now, obviously, since it's sprint weekend, one free practice session, we head straight on in to sprint quali. We're going to try to keep this brief because there is so much to talk about with the sprint race and quali and the race itself. In sprint quali 1, we had a very spicy chili on the radio with and I quote, "This is the worst execution I have seen in my life." I don't know when he started being so critical on the radio, but I kind of love it.
Carlos is a very sassy person, I feel like. So maybe he's just getting comfortable with Williams. I don't know. But I feel like we also saw Ferrari struggling here. They were struggling on time. They didn't have a great start to their weekend. And I forgot to write it down, but Red Bull, besides Yuki, Max was also struggling. So both of them, like a few teams just weren't doing that well on the track right now.
Yeah, I think it's the sprint format. Because if you look at Coda, Ferrari was the same way. They were not all that great, and then all of a sudden, wow! But I do think Carlos was also a little extra spicy because he was feeling under the weather, so he probably was like, I feel like shit. This was a shit decision, and like it just
Like, you're just
I don't
annoying
blame
me.
him. Literally.
Yeah.
But out in SQ1, we had Franco, Liam, Yuki, Esti and Carlos.
Now, Sprint Quali 2, we had, yet again, issues for the Ferraris, and we had Charles having a spin and bringing out the yellow flag for a few seconds at the end of the session. The crazier thing with Sprint Quali 2 that I really didn't see coming was Fernando Alonso topping the session. That was not at all anywhere on my bingo card for this race weekend. In any iteration did I ever see Fernando topping any of the timing sheets for any part of it.
I truly think at this point, like low-key am a fan of Alonso, but I feel like we're just gonna be seeing random really good races once in the blue moon from him right now. I don't have much expectations, but when he passes them, I'm just like, hell yeah. Anyways, Ferrari though, they had both locks up. Yeah, so what ended up happening for the poor Ferraris this weekend is both of them had lockups. Like, they were just out here really just trying their best. And what upset me even more was that lockup cost Lewis, because he was out, then Alex, then Pierre, then Gabby, and then Ollie. And I just kept feeling my heart break a little bit more each time I read a name.
I don't know what was going on with the sprint quali session, but it was kind of chaos.
Yeah.
It was really interesting because your top three your top 10 at the end of Sprint Quali 3 lined up as followed: Lando, Kimi, Oscar, George, Fernando, Max, Lance, Charles, Isaac, and rounding us out in 10th is Nico. I don't know why, but like, Lance splitting Max and Charles was really not something I saw coming.
I think this whole weekend could be described as chaos.
Facts. Honestly, whoever's listening to this, please make a tally of the amount of times that we say chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Because I fear it might be a lot. We do have to, of course, move into the sprint race.
Great voice. It happens to me, but it wasn't me this time.
I thought you were gonna say sprint wear. That's what it sounded like. I don't even know what sprint. I don't know what sprint wear is, but like that's what was coming out. Bro.
We, of course, have to move on to the sprint race. We had a damp inside line at the start. I was not surprised. It's Brazil. I feel like within a 40-minute window, you're going to get some rain. It's just kind of inevitable, especially this time of year. I don't know why, but it's just what seems to happen. We had a note of a potential contact issue between Ollie Bierman and Liam Lawson. It looked like the rookies were fighting, y'all. I don't even know. It was also at turn 4, which ironically was near where our bestie Mel and her better half Chris had seats. I automatically was like, oh my god, where is Mel? What are her thoughts? It was so close to where they were. I actually had to text her to be like, where are your seats? Confirm this for me.
I was telling Mel, I was like, I think you guys accidentally chose the most chaotic race, and on top of that, the most chaotic year to go, because there was just too much happening right in front of them.
I mean, Oscar in the wall, so many people in the wall. We had, it was just chaos.
We're gonna get there, but there was a lot.
Like, Oscar and Franco both out at like 7 laps into the race. I was so not prepared. It wasn't even the race. It was a sprint race, people. A sprint race. I did not expect to see a safety car during a sprint race. It almost looked like Oscar kind of like hydroplaned on the painted part of the track and just like dominoes.
I thought so too. He ended up eating too much curb. So like when you watch the replay, it's literally all 3 cars doing the same exact thing. All of them ate too much curb, and that's why they hit the barrier back to back. Franco, way harder than Nico, in my opinion, because Nico literally rode off right afterwards. Like, yes, he lost his front wing, but like he just rolled away.
Yeah, I was kind of like, Nico, what are you doing? Like, because, like, obviously, as soon as you get out of the car, you can't go back in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's where the thought was coming from. But, yeah, I don't know. I know, like, after watching the race, that a lot of the commentators were saying how from, like, a young age they're taught, like, to not go on the curbs when they're wet. And I know Oscar said that afterwards, that he was like, yeah, it was just a silly mistake. But I
Yeah.
did see that following Saturday's chaos. See, chaos, because even the like support races had chaos afterwards on Saturday. That they literally went and drilled like a drain, like holes into that curb
That's
afterwards.
crazy.
Because, but yeah, I was surprised. Franco, that one was bad. Like I thought
that one was really bad.
that one
It
was
was scary.
scary. Because he lost it in turn 1, so he was already not hooked up, and then once he
Yeah.
got to that turn 3, it was game over. It was just so unlucky for all 3 of them. Like I felt
Mhm.
bad. I was like, if you're gonna DNF, like, I'm sorry, that's not a way to go out.
Honestly, I was so shocked that Nico managed to keep going sans front wing. I mean, yes, obviously, I know the cars can still function and drive without a front wing on. It doesn't really like impact that. But I just was so surprised. Seeing a red flag out in a sprint race, in my opinion, is never a good thing because it's a sprint race. It's like 17 to 20 laps. It shouldn't be that intense, people. The thing during the red flag that really kind of like hit me was the replays that we kept getting of Franco's hit because of just how hard it looked. I was just the only thing I could think of was just hoping that he was okay and like didn't have a concussion
Yeah.
or anything like that because it just looked like such a strong impact.
I like honestly very sad because he just got re-signed, but I definitely think these kind of accidents are like a testament to how good the car is. 'Cause he was okay right afterwards, thank God. But that's terrifying.
We, of course, as a cautious way to restart the race, had a rolling restart. Again, it's the more cautious approach. I get it. It didn't necessarily need to be a rolling start, but safety is key and is important. For the restart, we only had Lando, Fernando, Lance, Pierre, and Alex on softs. Everybody else was sticking to mediums. Once we had the restart, everything was okay for a while. Kimi Antonelli was really putting one in with this sprint. I don't know what kind of pixie dust or espresso they gave that kid, but he was just like absolutely on it. It was great.
I so honestly think I really like obviously there are other options, but with him being right on Lando's tail and like the way he's been driving this season, I really think come rookie of the year, he's gonna be a top contender. Him and to me, Isaac. I don't know why. I really love Isaac.
I think officially Lewis. um I I think that after today, Kimi actually has outscored Lewis for most points in a rookie season.
That's
So
amazing.
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, we will see come award season. We did, however, towards the end of the sprint, have another crash. And that was Gabby. Honestly, he had a crash in the last lap, and it hurt my heart on so many levels. It looked scary as all hell, to be really frank, guys. It was like giving pinball kind of crash. He got air too. I was just absolutely blown away by it. The F1 TV team said it really looked like he was going to be unlikely to get back out for qualifying following the end of the sprint race because the damage to his car was absolutely insane.
I'm never a fan of watching crashes. I will say this was a heavy weekend for a lot of little accidents. But it was really terrible to watch. He really, like you said, he looked like a pinball machine. When you watch the video, he goes like 1, 2, 3. Like I think he did like left, right, left or something. And I was just surprised that one, he got out so quickly, and two, it looked like he just hurt his wrist or something. And and he was right back out there later on. So again, testament to these car safeties, because that's for the situations they put themselves in is like crazy, scary, ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a crash that bad in a while. I don't know. Like, it's been a while. Like, the last time I was genuinely scared, I think, after a crash was when Lando crashed in Vegas. Was that 2 years ago? When
this reminded me of Romain Grosjean, honestly.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, like,
it gave me Grosjean flashbacks a little bit.
Yeah,
and not in a good way.
Yeah, in the most like recent crashes we've had, because I don't know. To me, Zhou in Silverstone was also a really bad one.
Oh yeah, Zhou to me was probably like the worst one I remember.
But yeah, and seeing that it was a 57G crash is, you never want to see a crash have a G-force of that high. But I'm very glad he's okay. And like Chelsea said, it's a testament to the safety of these cars nowadays. Because if that were to happen years ago, I think we'd be saying something different. But yeah, ultimately the safety of these cars is amazing. Obviously, I'm sure there's still ways it can be better, but glad that Gabby is okay, because that's the most important thing, is that he's okay, he walked away from it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. These accidents are really just a reminder that like the safety precautions are there for a reason. But at the end of this chaotic race, we had Lando P1, okay, and after that we had Kimi, love seeing him on the podium, George for P3, Max P4, Charles P5, Alonso P6, Lewis P7, and Pierre P8. Those are all the ones that earned a little point here and there.
Now, after the sprint race was done, we did get the FIA's decision on the Oliver Bierman-Liam Lawson situation. Ollie received a 5-second time penalty for, quote, driving in a potentially dangerous manner, and he received a singular penalty point, which brings his total penalty points up to 9 of the allotted 12 he's able to receive before he gets a race ban. Now here's the real kicker, people. His points don't start to expire until May of 2026. Yes, I said May of 2026. He absolutely, hands down, picked up the K-Mag mantle Haas as head of chaos. I swear, I love it, but it's mind-blowing to me. Liam Lawson also got 5 seconds in time penalty and a singular penalty point for the incident with Ollie. He is now at 8 out of 12 points on his license. I do not know, though, when those points will begin to expire either. It could be May, it could be sooner, it could be later. I could not find that information yet.
I'm going to need them to chill out, because they just started this job. This is like getting fired in your first 3 months. What are you doing?
Not fired in your first 3 months.
Like, that is some crazy work to be at 8 and 9 respectively in your, well, not Liam's first season, but still.
It's crazy.
Like, that's wild.
And like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really understand this one, if I'm being completely honest. Like, after watching the replays, I think either. This was a racing incident.
Yes.
So like, I don't know. The FIA is FIAing again, but yeah, like, they were obviously both of them made a mistake, and I don't know. To me, this one was racing. It wasn't really like penalty and points on the license worthy, but you know, it's what it is. It happened. to each their own. We're not the ones making the decisions. I'm sure they have a reason for them, but
they suck.
We don't agree with them.
No. Now, we do have to move on to quali, which the start of quali was delayed because they had quite a few bits of repairs to do to the barriers. They had repairs to do at turns 1, 10, and 11 because cars into the wall during the sprint and other support races caused, yep, you guessed it, chaos and more chaos. It really and truly looked like Sauber was on a mad friggin' dash trying to get Gabby's car out for the session. I, for one, was not about to hold my breath for that.
Yeah, I completely understand why it wasn't possible for them to get him out there for quali. It was a bad accident. But they worked so hard and they really did try. And again, him walking out of there was a blessing in the first place. So while it definitely sucks he wasn't able to get the quali time, at least he was able to get out the car. So blessings.
Speaking of blessings, I don't know if I'd consider this a blessing or just more of like a jaw-dropping moment, in my opinion. I'm going to probably consider it a blessing because I adore him and I think he deserves nothing but the best. Seeing Oliver Bierman top the timing sheets with 7 minutes and 44 seconds left in the session was not my bingo cards. Yes, that's a lot of time, but I really, truly did not expect that at all. We did have Max Verstappen yet again suffering with a lot of grip issues during Q1. I did not expect to see both Red Bulls out at the end of Q1. I really wished that people could have seen the way I was shaking my head at the end of this session.
I said this earlier. Max was complaining, and so was Yuki. But there was underdrive problems, there was grip issues, like Amy said, and they ended up making changes to the car. If I'm not wrong, it was like 5 different things that they changed out of it. So he's starting from the pits now. And on top of that, we have to note they can do no more changes. Like they've officially exceeded all change allocations for the season. So something to keep in mind because we still have a few races left.
Fun fact, the last time both Red Bull cars had been knocked out of Q1 in qualifying, Kimi Antonelli was 6 weeks old.
God.
2006 was the last time both Red Bulls had been knocked out. I only know that fact because James Hinchcliffe said it in the pre-race thing. And I was like, oh my god, that's insane.
I bet saying that out loud made Hinchy feel so old.
Oh, most definitely. But it's also insane that the last time these cars were knocked out was 19 years ago.
For the heck. Chaos.
Insane.
Chaos! Out at the end of Q1 was Max, Esty, Franco, Yuki, and Gabby, who was not able to set a time because of his sprint race crash. Now, moving on to Q2, like I said, Ollie Bierman was on one in Q1, but good God, was he back on that same thing again in Q2 because they gave him some kind of pixie dust because he was also topping the Q2 timesheets with 4 minutes left in the session. I was freaking out thinking that he was actually going to hold it until Lando Norris came and took P1 with 40 seconds left in the session. You're muted.
Don't laugh. I'll fire you.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
No, I won't.
Okay, will you though? I'm funny. You can't lose me. I'm comedic relief, bro. Like, come on. You can't.
Okay, I'll stay. Our little jester. Okay, out of Q2, we end up having Fernando leave, Alex, Lewis, Lance, and sadly my boy Carlos, but I wasn't that surprised. But in Q3, I was super happy because Charles finally made a comeback after spinning out in Q1, and that was really all I needed to see to get my mood back up. So
at the end of Q3, your top 10 lined up as follows. Lando on pole position, Kimi in second, Charles in third, Oscar in fourth, Isaac in fifth, George in sixth, Liam in seventh, Ollie in eighth, Pierre in ninth, and Rounding us out in 10th again is Nico Hulkenberg. Now, moving into our race day coverage, we were getting updates from PGP girly Mel on track, aka meteorologist Mel, because she was giving us all of the weather updates trackside ahead of the race. They had a cloudy and rainy situation like 3 hours before the race, with a little drizzle that started up again about 40 minutes before the race start. If you know Sao Paulo and the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, you know that rain is kind of normal. It wasn't a total shock, but it's definitely like not an ideal way to start your race. At the start of the race, we had both Esteban and Max starting from the pit lane on hard tires. Lando was starting on mediums, and Kimi was on softs for the start of the race.
And we started the race off with a bang because Hamilton was already in for a pit stop after breaking his front wing. How did he do this? He ran into Franco. Literally just, that's how we're going to do it today. And he ended up with a slow pit stop on top of that. And to add a little more spice that we're going to see throughout the rest of the race, floor damage. So that's one way for Ferrari to start it off.
Yeah, and then we had the issue of Gabriel Bortoleto again in the wall. I don't know what was going on. Seeing a safety car in the first 2 laps of a race was not something I saw coming. It truly looked like Lance Stroll just kind of like tapped Gabby, and it just sent Gabby right on into the wall. I know nothing but pain being a Gabby fan.
Fucking Lance, bro.
It was a lot. The group chat was a lot. It was a lot. I hate to see a home fave go down so quickly. We were like, what,
especially
lap
after
7?
qualifying, or not qualifying,
yeah,
the sprint race.
Like, that was bad. And like, I had literally just hoped that after the sprint issue, we were going to come back strong. But no, this weekend for Gabby consisted of 2 crashes, no points, and he didn't even do quali. I'm crying.
We had a chaos restart because what the heck do you mean we had Oscar going into Kimi going into Charles, because it like looked like Oscar had a lockup. Again with the domino situation, people.
You are so right though. It was a lockup. It was like super sad. Basically he was just trying to like go down and trying to pass, and he did not.
We then had more pain for the Ferrari girlies. I'm so sorry, y'all, because Charles, poor Mel, poor baby, we love you so much, but Charles had to DNF from the race because his front left suspension was broken. Not really how you want things to go. No, we know nothing but pain.
Yeah, not a good day for Ferrari. I felt really bad for Charles because I thought things were starting to look up this weekend for him. And I do like to see Charles succeed. Like, he deserves some success, you know? He's given everything to that team. I was actually really sad for Charles. I wish nothing but happiness and success for him. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I thought things were looking up for him today, but 3 cars wide going into turn 1 is never a good thing. You're always gonna have something happen. I don't know how I feel about what happened per se, because could it have been avoided? Probably, but I don't know. I don't know if Oscar really deserved what happened after, but once again, who am I to say? So, yeah.
I think take a shot, chaos. It just happened too fast. Like, it was too fast in this race, because while this is all happening, Yuki and Lance are also having a little contact, a little touch. 10-second penalty to Yuki. He braked super late into Lance. That's like a rookie mistake in my head, but who am I to say? I'm not driving 100-something miles per hour.
From what the F1 TV team said about the Oscar Charles Kimmy situation. They seem to think that it was just like a racing incident. I'm gonna kind of defer to them on that judgment. We do have former drivers as pundits, so like I'm gonna trust what they're seeing more than like what I think happened sometimes. We did end up seeing the FIA give Oscar a 10-second time penalty for the situation. Now, we're hitting lap 25 of this race, and somehow Max Verstappen is holding on to P4. People, this is the same man who started from the pit lane. What in the heck is happening right now?
Mad Max.
I just think there's something so much fun about watching a driver go from the back to the front of the grid like a race. What's the word? I don't want to say it's like boring. I wrote boring, but like, I think it is a little boring when someone's just kind of cruising the whole time winning. Fight for your place. I want to see action. And that was Max. And I'm not a big fan of Max, but I love watching him race sometimes.
We then get a notification on screen that had me going, what did I miss? Because somehow Yuki Tsunoda was noted for failing to serve his 10-second time penalty correctly.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I missed it or what, but like, did they just not do a 10-second penalty for the pit stop? Like, I don't know if they like showed it again, if they did a replay. I don't know. I personally, once again, this is my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with it. But like when stuff like that happens, like that's not Yuki's fault if the team doesn't serve the penalty. Like, I always hate when the driver gets penalized for something that's not their fault. Like, obviously it's a team effort. I get that. That's how racing works. But like, when you're trying to serve a time penalty, that's not on the driver. That's on the team, especially when it's in a pit stop.
You're actually very right though, because the reason they didn't count it was because the team touched the car too early.
I hate it. I agree with Meg 100%. I think in situations like someone doesn't serve a time penalty correctly or something like that, it should be a fine on the team, not another penalty for the driver. Again, the driver has no control over something like that. We did get another penalty come through for Lewis Hamilton for causing a collision with Franco Colapinto. Make it make sense, please.
I just get annoyed because why did it take them almost 20 laps to decide on that? Like, that's what I think is kind of the most annoying about the FIA. We see it all the time. Races finish and they're like, by the way, penalty. And it's like, why did it take you 20, 30? Stop. Anyways, I'm sorry. That's rant. That's so annoying.
Lap 31, we had Max Verstappen up to third, while Oscar has taken over the lead because Lando went into pit. I was just so blown away seeing Max up in third after, again, having started from the pit lane.
Max is amazing sometimes. Not a fan, though. Anyways, lap 34, Yuki, 10-second penalty for failing to do it right the first time, sadly.
And yet again, more pain for the Ferrari fans. Lewis Hamilton was told to retire the car. And let me just tell y'all, oh my God, I could hear Mel screaming all the way from Brazil. Not that I blame her at all.
She was crashing out, and I'm crying thinking about all the planning that went into this trip to see this race in person, just to witness this live as a Ferrari fan.
We love you, Mel. We're so sorry.
I wish I could fix it for you, babe. I'm sorry.
I'm not that magical. I'm sorry, baby. Now, we hit lap 47, and we have the graphic that shows me that Max Verstappen is up 15 places. 1-5. Again, chaos. Magicianry, like,
skill.
Icon. I have nothing to say. We had Max leading the race at lap 51. And again, my jaw was on the floor because what do you mean, pit to P1? That is just the most iconic thing ever, even if that P1 was just for a little bit. Max himself on lap 58 quite literally said, and I quote, "We have nothing to lose." I mean,
never
you're
count
not
him out.
wrong. You're not wrong. You have nothing to lose, Mad Max Verstappen. It's just badass.
That is like such
just
a badass quote. We have nothing to lose. Like, the soft tires obviously gave him very good confidence, I'm sure. But like, I think Mad Max is also just a little bit cool like that. He's like, yeah, like, what do we have to lose? Like, he's
Literally
not wrong at this point.
No, he's not. Like,
yeah.
I will never count that man out unless he is not race. Yeah, literally. I was trying to think of how to say it, but like,
no, like
literally,
you can't count him out unless
like
he
that.
is DNF.
Right.
Like, unless
it's
that
ridiculous.
car is in a wall, do not ever count that man out, even if he's starting last.
I respect the hell out of him as a driver. Like, he's gonna go down as one of the best drivers ever in the sport. And that's coming from someone who, like, Chelsea is not a huge fan of him, but I still have to respect, exactly. But I still have to respect the fact that he is who he is, and he's done what he's done, and he's gonna do what he's gonna continue to do. So, like, I literally no words.
Like 10 laps to go, Mark. We had Lando leading, Kimi in second, George in third, and Max was not that far behind in fourth. The overtake that Max pulled on George was, can't even lie, y'all, an absolute thing of beauty. It was just perfect. But the moment that had me really stressing was seeing the Max Kimi battle at the end of the race. I love Brazil because we always get those like last lap battles and that drag to the finish. But I was so freaking stressed out. My heart was just like beating out of my chest. I have to give Kimi massive kudos because he hung on to his P2 with everything he had.
How do I say it? Like, I have a lot of respect for Kimi. Like, as a little rookie, I think he's definitely someone that, like, definitely works his ass off every single race. Obviously, the car he's in helps a lot. But, like, Mercedes right now is just really fighting for points, especially because they're kind of capitalizing on Ferrari's bad luck. So I did, in a way, love hearing them tell Kimi, like, push. Like, this isn't the time to slow down. This isn't the time to worry about the tires or anything. Push. And I feel like when you're a rookie, like, that's kind of like the motivation you need. Not someone saying like, "Oh, they're right behind you," blah blah blah. Like, no, just motivate me.
And I think too, I said this a couple episodes ago, one of the episodes I was on, like, with all the pressure that Kimi was under coming into this year to perform, and that he's gonna perform. Like, today was proof of that. And I think he's started to feel comfortable in recent races. And like, people have to remember, it's this kid's first year in F1. Like, he's not gonna be amazing. I don't know. Who knows? You never know. But like, you shouldn't have all these high expectations as a rookie, especially someone who was 18 starting the season.
Still in high school.
Yep, still in high school. Didn't have his driver's license yet to start the season. Like, that's an immense amount of pressure on someone. And I don't know. Today, he just, honestly, not even just today, this whole weekend, he performed so well. And he's outperforming George, which I think is also an interesting thing.
This is a lot.
Chaotic.
Yeah. Speaking of chaotic, I love how Sao Paulo always brings chaos year after year, and it did this year. And I do think everyone who finished on the podium deserved it this weekend. I think the top three really deserve to be up there. And like, yeah, just a chaotic weekend.
Your top three at the end of the race was Lando in P1, Kimi in P2, and Max rounded us out in P3. Yes, that man went from pit lane start to P3 at the end of a race. Iconic as hell.
You love to see it. And something I also love to see, Williams, Alex Albon, fastest lap. Thank you. I love when they do something that gets them like a little title.
I missed the fastest lap point. Like, I do have to say,
me too.
I really have missed that this year. I don't know why they took it away, to be completely honest, because I think it added a whole nother level of like spice.
Yeah.
And like competition.
It just gave it a little bit of.
Yeah, and it meant something. Like, now fastest lap is just like, ugh, whatever. Like,
it's a fun title.
Yeah. Then, rightfully so, your driver of the day was Max Verstappen. I mean, who else was gonna get that title today? Like Amy said, pit lane to P3. I think they said it ties like Alan Prost's record of going from pit lane to there. But
that's crazy.
For the stats fans like myself, Max had 56.7% of the vote. Closest behind him was Kimi with 10%, Lando 8.5%, Ollie 6.2%, and Oscar with 3.8%.
It was a hell of a race.
Absolutely crazy, absolutely iconic. I have no notes. I do have to give a major amount of kudos to Lando Norris for dedicating his win to Gilles de Ferran, his former friend and mentor, who was a Brazilian racing driver who has since passed. He passed back in 2023, if I remember correctly.
I love when they do that, to be honest, when they get to remember the past. And now what we really need to talk about is our predictions, because we're not very good at it, guys. Before we get into our predictions, I just want to say we tried our best last time, but none of us got even close. Hannah and Amy did get Max and Lando on the podium, just in the wrong spots. Okay, we're gonna keep you guys updated. We're gonna try doing this.
You guys know we love our predictions here, and you know that I always seem to pull out my pendulum for my predictions. Sometimes I get close-ish. Sometimes I'm way off. This weekend for our upcoming race in Vegas, though, it seems that my pendulum wants, yep, you guessed it, chaos. So please take this with a grain of salt. I am simply the messenger here. My P1 is Kimi Antonelli. My P2 is Max Verstappen. And my P3 is Oliver Bierman.
Oh.
I'd love to see Ollie up there.
Die a happy girl, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I honestly no idea how to predict Vegas, if I'm being completely honest, just based on previous years there, and what's happening now. I mean, typically it's a colder track, it's a different setup, it's still newer. My McLarens do not do well there. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe they'll change. I don't know. They don't really seem that optimistic about it, and they are going into the weekend with the idea that they're not going to do well. But we'll see. I do, however, have my money on Mercedes, I think, for Vegas, since the cold weather, their car loves it. So I'm going to go P1 Kimi, P2 Max, and P3 Lando. However, I would like to add, I am good with those three on the podium in any order.
Just putting it out there.
Just putting it out there. If those three are on the podium, it can be any order.
I will say I love the sparkles that is Vegas, so I cannot wait to see what it brings. In the meantime, I'm not really sure how it's going to go down. I did base my predictions on last year and how this year's going, so I put P1 Lando. I know you said it doesn't go well, but let's give it a little magic sparkle Vegas dust.
Hey, any magic sparkle Vegas dust for Lando to win?
Yeah, take it.
I am for it.
This is it. P2 Charles. I bet he's going to come with a really sparkly jacket, and it's going to give him a lot of confidence, and that's going to be the pixie dust to get P2. And then P3, I know you guys are saying Kimi, but I feel like because George did not get it this race, we're going to see him push to get it next race, because he's like, there's no way a rookie's going to keep beating me. So that's going to be my P3, George for Mercedes.
And he did win Vegas last year, so.
True.
Again, I was going based off past.
You never know. once again, I feel like Vegas is another chaotic thing, so we shall see. But to close out the episode, we have a driver of the week, and this week it has to be Lando Norris. I mean, he had a Grand Slam this weekend at Sao Paulo, topping FP1. He got sprint pole, won the sprint race, pole for the race, and winning the race. I mean, it's nice to see the old Lando back, like, with the pep in his step and the confidence and, like, driving the car how we all know he can drive. And he also extended his championship lead by 24 points. So, anything can happen, but we'll see what happens for the rest of the season. Let's go. L and 4.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining us. I hope you got to check out our Insta this weekend. Melissa did a little bit of a takeover with Chris on the ground in Brazil. So a lot of recording, a lot of posting. Stay tuned. I believe there's more posts that we're going to be putting out there. You can find us on socials at Paddock Girls Podcast. That's Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube. I think we have others, but we don't really use them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment on what you guys want to hear about. Next time, though, get ready. We're jumping back into one of my favorite little things we do. That is our book club. We are talking all things Podium Perfect by Lexi Richards. And it's a new fun romance. It hasn't released while we're recording this, but by the time you guys hear this, it'll be out there. So, see you next time, everybody. Bye.
Hey.
Adios.